Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MRC Live. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. If you're not already, please feel free to follow our league on Instagram, Twitter, and of course right here on Twitch. Also, if you happen to miss us live, you could always catch up on the action over at our YouTube channel titled under the same name. And MRC First for this season is our weekly Hot Lap video series breaking down this week's upcoming race course turn by turn with easy to understand commentaries. And lastly, if you're interested in joining the league, head on over to our website at mrcesports.com and apply to drive. This week we will be heading to China, Jiading, Shanghai, more specifically, for a 50% distance race around the Shanghai International Circuit. It's going to be 16 turns. It was designed by Herman Tilke. When it was completed in 2004, it was the most expensive Formula One circuit, costing $240 million. In 2009, Abu Dhabi eclipsed that, opening at $6 billion. This track is 5.5 kilometers long and features one of the trickiest corner combinations on the Formula One calendar. Turn 1 and 2 are a very demanding 270-degree right-handed corner combo that requires considerable speed. Looks like we got a little bit of gray clouds today as we're waiting for qualifying to start. Not sure why we're not getting any menus here or anything yet. Hopefully this will sort itself out. There we go. And we'll take a quick look at the driver standings going into this race. So far in the lead this season after 2 rounds, we have MRC Capitol Hood, followed by Formula Rager, followed by MRC Borat. We have the defending MRC Tier 1 champion Delirious in 4th place, followed by Mr. Reimer, B-Dunk, Cyclone, Bloody Ramrod, Shadow Wolf, and Muffin Man closing out your top 10. Take a quick look at the constructors' standings here as our first drivers are taking to the track, Muffin Man being the first one. And in terms of constructor championships, you can see Renault so far running away with the party, but we have a very close battle between Red Bull and Alfa Romeo, as well as McLaren and Williams in there for 2nd through 5th place. And with all of that out of the way, we'll go trackside. Again, we got Muffin Man driving for Mercedes, taking the field, leading us around warming us up, rather, in Shanghai. Do a quick onboard as we get our telemetry enabled here. Take a look at what tires everybody's running so far. Now approaching turn 13 here, very tricky. Got to short shift a little bit or have a lot of downforce to prevent spinning out there. As we see Muffin Man continuing to work some heat into those tires as most of our field has joined the track at this point. Quick look again at the defending champion there. Delirious followed closely behind by Cheesy Train. New entry to our Tier 1 this year. Happy to have you, bud. This Quantum Schema has left the session. Not sure what's happening there. Cheesy Train really following close behind Delirious here. Hopefully they both have a good lap coming up. Got Kirk on an out lap. Reimer's coming out of the pits as well. B-Dunk warming up the Williams machine there. As we'll hop back on board with Muffin Man starting his first hot lap of the day. Working his way through turn 8 here, I believe. Working our way through towards the fast S's here. This right-hander coming up is very tricky. Got a very late braking zone and a hard left coming up. Really likes to unsettle the car. Very difficult to overtake in this section of track. As Borat has been disqualified from the session for parking in the pit lane. Come on, Borat, you know better than that, man. Let's try to get a look at where he's parked, but unfortunately we missed that. Looks like Sosa was having a little bit of trouble there. This Cheesy Train pulled back into the pits after his first outlap. Perhaps he thought there was a little bit too much traffic out there. We have over 80% of our grid out on field on track right now. Delirious going all the way down to first gear there just to get all the turn in that he can out of that McLaren. Now again, working our way out of turn 13 onto the back straightaway, longest straightaway as we get our first laps of the day. Muffin Man with a 132.6 takes provisional pole from White Mike, 132.9, both on soft tires. Curious to see what Delirious crosses the line with as he just has one turn to go. As Kurt crosses the line 5 seconds off the pace. Hoping that the rain stays away so far as Delirious puts in a very humble 134.3 on hard tires. Double OT goes second place for now with another 132.9. Looks like Cyclone, Cap, and looks like a Williams in the back there having a bit of a moment here, struggling for track position. Kirk's gonna go into the pits. We'll see what time Cap puts in. 135.6 again on hard tires. Behind him, though, we have B-Dunk driving for Williams. Puts in the fastest lap so far with a 132.5 on medium tires. Great lap from him. B-Dunk's been looking very quick this season so far. Another newcomer to our Tier 1. And already adding a ton of excitement to the MRC series. See, Sosa still working around his first hot lap of the day. Approaching turns 11 and 12. Excuse me, this is turn 9, coming out towards 10 now. Driving the Racing Point. Our only Mexican competitor in our NAXBL Tier 1 league. See him displaying his country's colors on his helmet there in brilliant metallic fashion. Run a little bit wide there. Now big braking zone of 11 and 12 reminds me a lot of Silverstone here, but now very careful coming through 13 as the rear end really likes to slip away from the drivers. Grabbed 5th pretty early there. Kept everything under control as he now works towards the last DRS zone on the track, engages it there. Climbs to over 330 clicks an hour. We also have the Renault of Cheesy Train back out on track for his first hot lap of the day. We'll switch to him in a second. As things have remained pretty much the same for the top 5 running order. Fun Run Sosa will cross the line with a 135.0, which puts him in 8th place for now. Passes the very slow Mercedes of Muffin Man there, I believe. And then now we'll hop on board with the very aggressive-looking Renault of Cheesy Train. Working his way down the back straight as the rain begins to fall here in Shanghai. Big drift on entry coming into the second to last corner there. Does well to regain control. Uses every inch of the track there, engages DRS, crosses the line. The 132.9 puts him in 4th place for now, just behind Double OT. Great lap from Cheesy Train on slicks as it begins to rain. Definitely struggling for grip. With a Sector 3 yellow. As everybody just looks to be trying to get back to the pits for intermediates or wets, but we have Mr. Reimer giving it all she's got. Working his way past the DHL branding of turns 9 and 10? Yes, now approaching 11. Heavy on the brakes there, down to second gear, just nicely to kiss the apex on the left side and the right side. Now easy on the throttle, just about 50% application, creeping towards 105th gear. And it seems the Codemasters have struck Quantum Schema, only allowing him to spectate for the day, unfortunately. As Mr. Reimer crosses the line with a 1:33.4. Very decent lap from him in the Toro Rosso. Puts him into P6 for now. B-Dunk continues to hold that P1 as we've just got over 8.5 minutes in qualifying left. MRC Cyclone has taken to the track for the first time today, as Muffin Man's trying to improve on his P2 right now. ERS Mode 5 giving it all she's got as we have a very lazy cameraman. There we go, back on board with the action. Nice use of all the curbing there, onto the back straight. I don't know if it's raining or this could just be a beautiful day in Shanghai. I'm not sure with all the smog. Muffin Man now working his way around the second to last turn. Not much fuel left in the tank. Quick stab of the brakes there. A little bit of dirt puffing off the back of his tires as he crosses the line. Unfortunately, does not improve his time. He'll stay P2 for now. As we see White Mike in the gravel pit, doing his best to get that Haas turned around and back on track. Haas has a lot of work to do this season. Not sure if his teammate is absent or he's just still in need of a teammate. But unfortunately, our race yesterday got canceled, or postponed rather, due to some very frustrating server issues as White Mike retires there. Delirious is going to cross the line with a time no better than his last. That was a 1:43 or 1:34.3. We'll try once more. A little bit of gas left, but not enough battery charge to take him around quickly. And on board now with Cyclone on his first hot lap of the day on soft tires. Not a lot of gas left. DRS is open, got plenty of track space, nobody around him. Negotiates the last hairpin beautifully, now working his way up towards 6th gear before the final turn. Quick stab of the brakes down to 4th. Using every inch of the track that he can, charging towards the finish line. That'll put him in with a 1:34.6 into 10th place. Caution Sector 2, presumably just somebody going slow. Unfortunately, as the rain continues to fall here in Shanghai, I don't think many of our competitors will be able to improve their lap times, as the track conditions continue to degrade. See both Mercedes and McLaren going back into the garage there to fit some wet tires, possibly take one more stab at it. Delirious limping his way back towards the pits. Cyclone as well on his in-lap, taking it very easy. Man, something about that Ferrari just looks off to me in this game. It just looks a little bit too matte. As Shadow Wolf retires from the session as well, P12 is going to be where he starts. Again, more cars returning to the garage here. Not too much going on at the moment. Just under 5 minutes left now as Ferrari is re-entering the track. That would be the Ferrari of MRC Kirk, I believe. Yes, it is. We will hop on board with him for a point of view. Or a point of view. Point of view. There we go. Of one lap around this very wet Shanghai circuit as we see him already drifting around turn 1. And of course, for our Tier 1 drivers here in MRC, we are not running any assists as of this season other than the dynamic racing line. Just so these guys know where they are, and the changing ERS modes make this game one of personally for me, the only that I use the line in as well. With other series of cars, it's pretty easy to get your braking points, know where you're going to be for each lap, but with the nature of these hybrid cars with DRS and varying conditions, your entry speeds are going to be drastically different lap to lap. As we see Kirk taking it very easy around here, just trying to get some sort of heat into those intermediate tires. Missing a little bit of turn 11, but does well to get back for turn 12. Nobody around him, so no big deal there. As everybody else continues to sit in the pits, brew a fresh cup of coffee, enjoy some nice snacks, as Kirk continues to battle the rain, working his way around the second to last turn now, setting up for his first hot lap on intermediates. As Delirious is also rejoining the field, possibly a little more time to gain from him. As Kirk now engages DRS, charges down the front straight. Formula Rager retires from the session. He's going to be starting P11 unless Kirk can do anything to improve his lap time. Unfortunately, goes very wide on the entrance to turn 1 and presumably invalidates his lap, as Capita Hood also retires from the session. Or did he? Oh yeah, he retired. Okay. Just making sure he didn't leave. As we continue to watch King Kirk, MRC Kirk. That was his old gamer tag before he became a true MRC competitor. And we have Double OT retiring from the session as well. Nothing left. Just under 2 minutes left in qualifying now before we start the Grand Prix. Hopefully we have some better conditions for the race start. But if there is one thing that MRC is known for, it is being the moist racing championship of the world. Yellow in Sector 3. As B-Dunk retires as well. Everybody's just ready to start the race. Great shot of the DRS engaging there. See our final competitors retiring here. Delirious still trying to give it all he's got. Fastest lap record in real life is held by Pierre Gasly, who snatched it from Michael Schumacher, who held it since the race's conception in 2004. Gasly put in a 1:34.7 last year when he pitted late in the race to take the fastest lap point. As Delirious really trying to get a couple tenths, anything he can left as qualifying elapses here. He is the last one on the track, so we'll stay on board with him. Also, another cool little fact is in 2006, the Chinese Grand Prix was won by Michael Schumacher, which would be his last victory in Formula 1. Keep fighting, Michael. We love you, bud. Delirious now goes very wide around the last corner and crosses the line. Drifts with magnificent fashion. And he'll be starting P8 for this Chinese Grand Prix, presented by MRC. There we have a final look at our starting grid. B-Dunk P1, followed by Muffin Man and Double OT. Capitol Hood, Delirious, and Borat starting very low in the field. Some of the local fan favorites there, so first 5 laps are sure to be exciting, as we have got a lot of great competitors that are going to be sure to be trying to make up some space early. Chinese Grand Prix was also originally intended to be held at the Zhuhai International Circuit, but upon inspection by the FIA, it did not meet their standards. As we wait for everybody to load in here, we have equally cloudy skies for our race start, it looks like. So we're going to see a bunch of different strategies, I'm sure, as we have some of the field starting on intermediates, but most of the field opting to start for slicks. Unfortunately, Lewis Hamilton holds the record for the most wins here with a total of 6, which also gives the most wins of constructors to Mercedes with the same number. As we are finally underway here in Shanghai for our formation lap, led by the brilliant, striking livery of that Williams. Oh, and it looks like, nobody's starting on intermediates, excuse me. Everybody's, most of the field rather opting for mediums, just a couple of our competitors going on hards, those being Capitol Hood and Delirious, going for the long run, trying to make up some positions. As White Mike has left the session, not sure if that was a connection issue. I'm just going to try to get him back in here real quick. Hopefully he gets back in before this formation lap ends, as we have a very excited MRC Borat absolutely dancing around in that Alfa Romeo Sauber. As White Mike is back in the race, thankfully, he'll be waiting for the rest of our competitors at the start-finish line. As the dominant B-Dunk continues to lead our field around the last turn. Work our way past the very expansive grandstands here in Shanghai. Drivers working every bit of tire and every bit of heat into the tire that they can. So we'll go on board with Double OT for the start of this race as we wait for our last competitors to take their starting grid places. It's going to be all eyes on the lights now, as the audio cuts out in dramatic buildup. As we still wait for the lights. As White Mike unfortunately disconnects again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the lights, and they're out. Our drivers are off. The McLaren of Shadow Wolf looking to make a very early move. Mercedes of Muffin Man looks to defend the outside line going into turn 1. Cheesy Train and Muffin Man are side by side already. Haas of White Mike unfortunately ghosted in the middle of all of this. As our drivers continue to go 2x2 through turns 2, 3, and 4. The McLaren of Delirious was unfortunately punted off. He's going to lose a lot of time following his teammate of Shadow Wolf 14. Cheesy Train and Capita Hood continue to press the Mercedes of Muffin Man for second place. Capita Hood already up 3 or 4 spots. Double OT and Borat closely behind in their Alfa Romeos, followed by Formula Rager as well, nipping at the heels of Borat. Great long shot there of our field coming through towards turn 11 now. B-Dunk continues to lead. A little bit of drama shaping up for our midfield here between Formula Rager and Borat as we see the Ferrari of Kirk going very wide coming out of turn 13, losing the position of Sosa. Have Borat looking to the inside of Double OT through the second to last corner. Can he make it stick? Unfortunately, lots of oversteer on the exit. Loses a lot of time. They're going 3 wide into the last corner. How's this going to go? Everybody gets through okay. Thankfully, no incidents on the first lap so far. That'll end anybody's race as B-Dunk continues to lead, pulling over a second interval over Muffin Man. Formula Rager and Borat continuing to battle here. Borat seemingly locking up a whole lot. Gonna be putting a lot of wear on those tires early in this race. Kirk's trying to find a way around the racing point of Fun Rafa Sosa. Unfortunately, not going to happen here as Borat and Rager battling it out through turn 9 here. Rager unfortunately cannot find his way around, looking to the inside. It's forced very wide by Borat as Sosa tries to find his way through. At the same time, he does. Now we also have Kirk looking for position from Formula Rager. Trying to set something up coming out of turn 13, but Formula Rager's looking very fast, looking at the back of Fun Rafa Sosa. Only on lap 2, so we do not have DRS engagement as of yet, relying on the slipstream for everything. Sosa defends to the inside. Formula Rager continues up the outside. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Sosa with a big lock up there, loses the position of Formula Rager, now has to look in the mirror, defend against MRC Kirk. Muffin Man puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.9. So we have Mr. Reimer trying to find his way around Double OT into turn 1. Let's see if anything could happen here as Kirk passes Sosa on the front straight. Double OT trying to set something up going into turn 2 here. Big drift there coming out of 1. Gonna kill his speed going into 3. Sosa and Kirk continuing to battle. Oh, excuse me, that's Cyclone nipping at his heels now, followed by Delirious. Delirious looking very determined indeed. Now working our way down towards turn 6, the first hairpin on the track. Delirious with just a little grab of 4th gear there to keep the nose turned in, works his way to the inside of MRC Cyclone, takes that P11 from Ferrari as he works onto the mini straight before turn 11. Cyclone looks to the inside. Can't make anything happen as of yet. We'll go back on board with Borat. Looks to be in a little bit of trouble, losing a position to Formula Rager as well as MRC Kirk. But up ahead of them, it looks like Mr. Reimer's battling with Double OT, looking to the outside. Double OT defending on the inside. Reimer trying to carry that speed around the corner, but it's a very hard thing to do. But he's got the inside line coming into the last turn, takes that position away from Double OT, going onto the front straight. We've got a caution in Sector 3. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Borat has retired from the session after losing his front wing. That is heartbreaking for him, as he had a very tough qualifying session, was looking okay, pretty solid coming out of the first few laps there, but His race is over before even the 5th lap. You see Cheesy Train now trying to make something happen on the 2nd place Muffin Man. Both these drivers been very quick so far today. Reimer also still working on double OT, but we're going to stay with Cheesy Train for now. Actually, we're going to go with Mr. Reimer. He's within 2/10 of double OT. Cheesy Train falling off a little bit now. Double OT still continuing to defend brilliantly just by positioning his Alpha exactly where it needs to be. Now Reimer giving it everything he's got. Double OT again looking to the inside to take away that line. Reimer forced a little bit wide, trying to make an over-under happen. Can he apply the power smoothly coming out of 13? Not quite, but he will have the assistance of DRS as Cheesy Train's looking to the inside of Muffin Man. Muffin Man losing that position so far going into turn 14 here. A little bit of a lockup from Cheesy Train, but he gains that position, going back on board now to double OT, and Reimer going wheel to wheel through 14. A little bit of oversteer there on exit from double OT as Reimer will hold that position going into the last turn. Formula Rager now just in the mirrors of double OT as Cheesy Train's taking back the position from Muffin Man going into turn 1. A lot of action here in the first 5 laps of this Chinese Grand Prix presented by MRC. Cheesy Train relegated back to 3rd position from the very quick Muffin Man. Capita Hood now with all this battling just under a second behind his teammate Cheesy Train. Cheesy Train again looking to the inside of Muffin Man, going wheel to wheel coming out of turn 6, approaching the sweeping left and right of 7 and 8 here. As Cheesy Train has made his way around Muffin Man in a very difficult section of track to pass. We'll hop on board Formula Rager now, trying to make his way around double OT, followed closely behind MRC Kirk. Formula Rager looks to the inside of double OT through turn 11, makes the pass. Can he apply the power smoothly coming out of 13? Keep it together. Kirk also now nipping at the heels of double OT. Both these drivers will have the assistance of DRS now. And engage it there. Also, Fun Rafa Sosa has DRS as well as double OT defends to the inside from Kirk's attacking Ferrari. Muffin Man and Capita Hood. Capita Hood passed Muffin Man this last lap while Kirk and Sosa and double OT were battling. Double OT has fallen. As soon as I go off him, he unfortunately crashed on pit entry, it looks like, or possibly got very wide going through the last turn. As the Renaults have worked their way into podium contention now, Muffin Man working his way back out into 4th place. Trying to take a stab back at the very fast Renaults here. See if he's got anything left to give through this technical section here of 8 and 9. As White Mike passes double OT coming out of the pit, as does his teammate Cyclone. Muffin Man looks to be falling off a little bit now compared to Capita Hood's pace. Neither of these drivers have pitted so far, and Capita Hood and I think Cheesy Train are both on the harder tire compound. Kirk trying to make a move on Formula Rager going towards the last turn, looking to the inside, a complete dive bomb coming from left field. Little touch on the side pod of Formula Rager. Glances off the blow as if it was nothing, works onto his 7th lap. Very nicely handled as Muffin Man comes into the pits to replace those very worn soft tires. Stay on board with Kirk, Sosa, and Delirious here. Seem to be having a bit of a battle. We also have the McLaren teammates of Delirious and Shadow Wolf battling for 8th place just behind these guys. Take a quick peek at them, see what they're doing. Both these drivers, veterans of MRC, working together, trying to give each other a tow. Work their way back through this field. It's always great to see teammates evenly matched in terms of pace and skill, working together. Playing the long game. As Shadow Wolf gets DRS engagement there, opens the flap, looks to the inside of his teammate. There he goes. Completes that pass before the turn before the braking point even comes up. As these two will probably continue to trade those positions back and forth. As Kirk is now under a second behind Formula Rager. We're also keeping an eye on Capital Hood, working on his teammate just under a second back as well. Now working our way through the increasing radius 270 degree turn 1. And then the very tricky 2, 3, and 4 here. Very hard to apply the power without losing the rear end. Kirk just a 10th off the pace of Formula Rager at the moment, looking to the inside of turn 6 here. Fortunately can't make anything happen yet. Formula Rager giving him plenty of space. Capital Hood now just 3/10 off the pace of his teammate Cheesy Train. Trying to make something happen going to turn 1, gets the inside line. Later on the brakes, but Cheesy Train goes back to the inside of the line. Renault drivers wheel to wheel going towards 2, but Capital Hood maintains that P2. Great look at his blue and teal helmet there. As he charges towards turn 6 now. Take a look at Formula Rager and Kirk continuing to battle for P5 here as Delirious passes his teammate for P8. His drivers are wheel to wheel going into 6th there, just inches between the side pods. Formula Rager giving it everything he's got to defend against the very incessant MRC Kirk. Both these drivers have been trading blows all race and will continue to do so over the next 19 laps. Go back on board with Cheesy Train here, trying to find a way around his teammate Capital Hood. Not going to happen in turn 16. Cheesy Train trying to do everything he can to match the pace of Capital Hood, but unfortunately his tires are probably falling off a little bit in terms of degradation at this point. So he's now struggling to maintain this second interval between his teammate. We'll go on board with Delirious, who's found his way to the rear diffuser of the Racing Point Fun Rafa Sosa. Approaching turn 11, Sosa continues to hold P7 from the very determined Delirious and Shadow Wolf. Delirious now with the help of DRS. Looks to the inside of Sosa. Sosa defends to the inside. Delirious goes back to the outside. Little bit of over-under action, but unfortunately cannot get the power down. As these three will continue to melee for another lap here at Shanghai. Go on board the McLaren now as he tries to find a way around Sosa, coming up upon this very technical sector 2. Saw some brilliant overtakes here earlier in the day. We'll see if Delirious can add to that list. Also have OOT working on the back of MRC Cyclone for P11. Just under half a second behind his pace. Take a quick look at the total pit stops for the day. So far, just our final 4 competitors have stopped. The others have all stayed out on their starting tires. Big lock up there from Sosa as Delirious does well not to get any front wing damage there. Again, looking at the position changes of the day, Kirk and Rager having great drives. Now Delirious much later on the brakes than Sosa into 1. Can he work his way back towards that inside curb to take away the line from Sosa? He does, and gains that place with finesse and precision. Brilliantly done by Delirious. Oh no, as we see his teammate Shadow Wolf overdid it coming out of turn 4, lost the rear end, and picked up a whole lot of front wing damage on that Armco on the left side. As Shadow Wolf unfortunately loses that position to Muffin Man as he nurses his McLaren back around this track to the garage for a new front wing. Sosa continues to try to take a stab back at Delirious. Formula Rager also looking at the inside of Kirk. Kirk moves to the inside to defend. Formula Rager trying a little over-under action, bit of contact there, can't make the pass happen. As Rager pulls into the pits for some fresh tires, Kirk will work onto his 13th lap. We also have the race leader B-Dunk pitting, Mr. Reimer pitting as well as Cheesy Train. Everybody rejoining the track without too much drama. As most of these drivers will be opting for hard tires to take them through to the end of this race. Cyclone picks up position from the damaged McLaren of Shadow Wolf. As Capita Hood is now your new race leader. Capita Hood, Kirk, Delirious, and Sosa all still yet to stop. The rest of the field all opting for the hard tire compound. As we cross the halfway point of this Chinese Grand Prix, not too many incidents, not too many yellow flags so far today. A very clean race. We've seen some brilliant moves so far. Certainly seen a few from this man right here, Mr. Reimer, working on the back of 6th place Cheesy Train. Cheesy Train taking a cheeky line through that last turn there, using every bit of the track he can as MRC Kirk pulls into the pits for some fresh tires. Mr. Reimer really closing ground now on Cheesy Train. Mr. Reimer and Cheesy now working their way through 8 and 9. White Mike apparently fell victim to wheel issues. Very sorry to hear that. Haas certainly could have used some points today. Uh-oh, as we see the racing point of Sosa there. Lose control coming out of 13 as Mr. Reimer and Cheesy Train work their way around. Cheesy Train forced to lock up the brakes a little bit there to avoid the very out-of-shape Sosa as Mr. Reimer works his way by, but Cheesy Train now frustrated by that, trying to find his way back around Mr. Reimer, looks to the inside, decides this isn't the place to make the pass yet, as B-Dunk puts in the new fastest lap of the race on the hard tires with a 1:35.8. Pushing that Williams with everything he's got. Claire, take notes. Sosa now entering the pits to repair that damage he picked up, as these drivers now working their way past the ghosted Haas of White Mike. Sosa apparently didn't pick up too much damage as he just stops for some fresh tires. He's going to be able to pull out of the pits without too much incident. As we go back on board with Cheesy Train, continuing his battle with Mr. Reimer for 4th place. Working our way through turn 10 now. Onto the second back straight. Heavy on the brakes now for 11. Cheesy Train hitting all of his marks today, driving with precision and finesse. A little bit of a drift there on exit, but not too bad as he stays within DRS range. Engages it there. Everything stays attached, unlike Ricardo's Renault. Good to see. Both these drivers now catching up a little bit to the McLaren of Delirious. Reimer now right on his tail, trying to find his way around the McLaren. Go on board now, approaching turn 6. Very heavy braking zone here. Reimer trying to find his way around the outside. Can't make it stick yet. Delirious holds on to P3 for now. Cheesy Train, though, don't count him out. He's right in the background of this battle for P2. As these three drivers work their way around turns 9 and 10. Reimer trying to set something up, looking towards 11, trying to find his way around the inside a little bit later on the brakes, has his nose in the inside of Delirious. Unfortunately, the track turns very sharply back there for turn 13 as Cheesy Train was trying to find a way around the inside of Reimer. Couldn't put the power down though, lost a little bit of grip. As Delirious takes a very early defensive line to the inside, Mr. Reimer works his way around the outside with the assistance of DRS. Now Delirious turns his focus to the Renault of Cheesy Train in his mirror. Not out of trouble yet as we work our way onto the 17th lap. All three drivers trying vastly different lines into turn 1 there, but nobody gaining any time. It looks like Formula Rager's starting to work his way towards the Mercedes of Muffin Man in 6th place. We'll stay on board for now with these three, as Cheesy Train's just 0.3 off the pace of Delirious. Working our way towards turn 11, Cheesy Train has a little look at the inside of Delirious, but decides it's better to stay right behind. Follow the fast line through as we work our way now out of turn 13. Highest camber degree on the track. Cheesy Train looking to the inside of Delirious. Completes the pass with the assistance of DRS without much drama. Formula Rager also with the assistance of DRS, unfortunately not able to catch up to Muffin Man yet, as MRC Capita Hood puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 1:34.5. As Delirious now enters the pits to change his tires to possibly mediums to take him to the end of this race. We'll take a look at that in a minute, as we see the Ferrari of MRC Kirk having a little bit of trouble there on the exit of 16. And yes, we have some fresh medium compound tires for Delirious as he pulls out of the pits. We also see Cyclone pulling in. Formula Rager now just 0.2 off the pace of Muffin Man going into turn 6th here. Formula Rager been working very hard today trying to find his way around our other drivers. Been looking very skillful behind the wheel of that Red Bull, as he's well within DRS range of Muffin Man right now. Let's see what he can do with it coming onto the back straight here. As we have two of the same camera angle, thanks Cody's. Muffin Man holds the inside line, keeps that position going into the 19th lap here. But another DRS zone here under the grandstands. We'll see if Formula Rager can use it to his advantage. Unfortunately not. Muffin Man continuing to hold a very nice defensive line. As we also have Double OT pulling into the pits for his last change of the race. Shadow Wolf works his way by without any issue. Cyclone not close enough to make anything happen yet. So we'll hop back on board with the Red Bull of Formula Ragers. He's looking to the inside of turn 11, throws a dive bomb, and almost spins out, does very well to recover. Now has a lot of time to make up on the Mercedes of Muffin Man. Lost over a second due to that little mistake on that last turn there. Bit of time starting to separate our competitors now, as we have just over 8 laps to go here in China. Still under green flag conditions, just like most of the race. As you see Kirk drifting his way around there. Take a ride on board with our race leader, B-Dunk here. See what it takes to maintain the lead here at MRC Tier 1. B-Dunk been putting on a very powerful showing so far this season. Composure, that's the word that comes to mind when watching B-Dunk drive. Looking cool, calm, and collected in P1. So we have a yellow in Sector 1. Looks like the racing point of Sosa lost it in the fast right-hander of Turn 1. Lost a position to Double OT. Which has pushed Double OT up into 10th place, right behind the McLaren of Shadow Wolf 14. Bit of a new battle shaping up between these two. So far, the McLarens have been having a real tough day today. Shadow Wolf picked up a little bit of damage earlier, had to replace his front wing early on in the race. As Double OT is now right on the rear wing of his McLaren. Double OT well within DRS range here, engaging it there. Shadow Wolf holding that inside line, but losing the position before the turn starts, as Double OT takes that P9 away from McLaren. Splits those two teammates. Shadow Wolf following suit through turn 1. Very hard to make a passing opportunity happen through that section of track there. Really, whoever has the inside line should be able to maintain their position without too much drama. Double OT starting to pull away from Shadow Wolf a little bit. We'll hop on board with Formula Rager, continuing to try to work some time back from Muffin Man. But keep your eye on Capita Hood. He's got some fresher, softer tires than B-Dunk, and only 3.5 seconds separate them with only 5 laps to go. At the end of this race, we might have a very close battle between 1 and 2. Working our way through the end of Sector 2 here through 8 and 9. Now working our way around 10 as Cheesy Train picks up a 3-second time penalty, one of the first of the day. Haven't had many penalties at all for exceeding track limits. See Rager working the wheel, sawing back and forth, trying to keep the grip up in those very old tires. DRS really helping him get to the rear end of Muffin Man there. As we approach the final corner. Capita Hood now within 3 seconds of B-Dunk. Last 5 laps, everybody starts to turn the intensity up to 11, gives it all they got. If you don't go for a gap, then why are you racing? Formula Rager still just a half second behind Muffin Man, working our way through Sector 2 here. Thankfully, the rain has held off here in Shanghai, as we see Muffin Man running a little bit wide through that last turn there. Allows Formula Rager to pick up a little bit of time. Formula Rager, unfortunately, not looking like he can gain much time to pass Muffin Man. So we only have 3 laps to go here. He does have newer tires. Just needs to put together a few real clean laps here. This Muffin Man's almost over a second away. If he loses that DRS engagement, he really won't have any hope over the last couple laps to make a passing move. As Cap is now just over 2 seconds off the pace of B-Dunk. Continuing to keep my eyes on our front runners there. Cheesy Train also gaining a bit of time on the 3rd place Mr. Reimer. You can hear Rager short shifting there coming out of 10 just so he doesn't lose any grip. Babying those tires with everything he's got to make it to the last lap. Still within DRS range, works his way again to the rear diffuser of the Mercedes of Muffin Man. As we still continue to see Kirk just in the edge of the background there. Very tricky braking points through turn 1 as it gets progressively tighter, so you have to get harder and harder on the brakes as the turn goes on. Chinese Grand Prix, definitely one of the harder tracks on the calendar. A lot of drivers really don't enjoy this track. Capita Hood still just over 2 seconds off the pace of B-Dunk. Just over 2 laps to go. Not sure if anything's gonna happen. We'll continue to ride on board the Red Bull of Formula Rager. Take a quick peek at Capita Hood, see what he's doing. Unfortunately, just out of DRS range, trying to get any bit of slipstream that he can from that Williams. But back on with Formula Rager now, found a way to the inside of Muffin Man, going into 16, big lockup though. Forced a little bit wide on exit, but maintains P5 coming out of 16. Now approaching the last turn, runs very wide. Muffin Man right on his heels, looking to the outside of turn 1, setting up. The assistance of DRS makes the pass, but Formula Rager later on the brakes has the inside line. Little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, as Muffin Man has the inside line coming out of 2. And puts the power down without issues. Rager looking to the inside there. Muffin Man with a bit of a defense. Keeps him in P6 for now. Capita Hood now now under 2 seconds behind B-Dunk. Trying to catch every bit of last lap action that we can here. Just over a lap to go. As our front runners should be working their way onto the final lap in just a few seconds here. As B-Dunk's working his way around the last turn there. Still 2 seconds separate him and Capita Hood. Not sure if Cap's going to be able to make anything happen on this last lap. Save a mistake from B-Dunk. But so far, B-Dunk has been driving absolutely impeccably today. So I can't say that I expect anything to go too amiss on this lap. It's Muffin Man continuing to defend against the relentless attack of Formula Rager. Formula Rager now with just 1 lap left to make something happen, using every bit of the paint that he can there. Gets a bit of a tow back to the rear end of Muffin Man going into turn 1. Can't make anything happen there. Cap now just under 1.5 seconds behind B-Dunk, really starting to shave the tenths off now. If this GP was just 2 laps longer, I really think he would have a great run at the at pole position rather. But he may be forced to settle for a podium as Formula Rager's looking to make his way around the outside of Muffin Man, going around 9. Fortunately, couldn't make it stick as Muffin Man continues to hold P5 for now. Working our way around 9 and 10 onto the little back straight. Muffin Man with a much better exit. Rager running a bit wide. As these two are working onto the ghosted Haas of White Mike. B-Dunk wins the Chinese Grand Prix, crosses the line a 2nd and the 3rd in front of Capita Hood, finishes 2nd. Formula Rager has one more chance here going into turn 16. He has DRS assistance. Is he going to be able to make up enough ground? He's gaining, looking to the outside of the Mercedes. Later on the brakes, carrying much more speed. Wheel to wheel coming out of that turn as they made a little bit of contact. Big twitch from Muffin Man, loses P5 as Formula Rager works his way around and takes the checkered flag away from Muffin Man. King Kirk follows closely behind in 7th. MRC Kirk, rather, excuse me. The McLaren of Delirious. Very tough race for him. Go to our total position change for the day. He's finishing right where he started. Double OT behind him, down 6 spots. Brilliant drive from Rager and Kirk, though, up 6 spots overall today. Capita Hood as well, up 5. Fastest lap of the day. Extra point goes to Delirious with a 1:33.5. He must have stopped and got some fresh soft tires while I was yammering on about Red Bulls. Brilliant lap from him. As we now have Sosa working his way around Cyclone. They're wheel to wheel at the finish. I think Sosa got it? Yes, Sosa finished P11 just ahead of 12th place Cyclone. Great finish from those two as well. And here we'll get a good look at our final finishing position for the day. As B-Dunk is your winner, followed by Capita Hood. And here is our final time board for the day, including all penalties and my spectating rewards. There we go. Cheesy Train with the only penalty of the day. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect his finishing position. But I will quickly set up a post-race interview here. Which I might have to... We're gonna have to figure that out for next stream. So, on behalf of all of us here at MRC, we appreciate your viewership so much. Be sure to tune back next week, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. This week was a special postponed race. And we will see you then. Thanks so much. Have a great night, everyone.